What's up, everyone? So, today's story, I want everyone to kind of participate in this one. Either you've been in a situation like this before, you know someone who's been in a situation like this before, or a young man or woman is getting ready to put themselves in this situation. And I think it's truly important to know that we have options, because this one wrecked me pretty badly. And luckily I got out in time. But I used to work as an undercover security officer. Now, it doesn't sound, or it's not as cool as it sounded, because it sounds pretty damn cool. But basically, my job was to go around grocery stores and pretend like I was a shopping customer. And I would arrest people who would shoplift from the store. Now, sounded kind of cool at first, especially I'm a 22-year-old getting my first real job with real money, and I had unlimited overtime, which is also very nice for a youngster. And when I would detain these people, it was really kind of funny, because there definitely is, at least in that particular scenario, it wasn't us against them. It was the officers versus the criminals. And let me tell you, it was bad. It wasn't cool at all. They would treat these people like they weren't people anymore. And personally, I didn't like that. But being a 22-year-old kid, your voice just isn't quite as strong. Not comparatively to how I am at 37. I'm a very different person now. So I would just kind of go along with it, right? And I would actually drink when I would get home, because I was kind of in a stupor. I was a little bit depressed. I didn't like my job. I didn't like what I was doing. And I felt like it was eating at my soul. I really didn't like it. And the last straw that really got me over the edge was I had detained a woman who stole about $100 worth of groceries. And she was in tears, just freaking out. And she actually taught at a school too. And she said, I'm going to lose my license. She had everything going. I'm going to lose my license. Please don't let anybody know, please. Well, I had already let my sounding officer know. So I talked to him and I said, look, I'll pay this woman's groceries. I'll pay for them. And that way it'll be done. And he told me, no, she did the crime. She has to do the time. She did what she knew what she was getting herself into. And my thinking is, I don't think life is that black and white. I just don't. I don't think it's as simple as you either do it or you don't. So she might have felt that was her only option to feed her kids. I don't know. But I do know it's only $100. And so the way he presented it was just, it made me say, enough is enough. I am done. And so I ended up quitting that job. But the thing is, it was about, I believe it took me like 6 or 7 months to actually quit the job. And we will get ourselves in these weird situations. We'll kind of convince ourselves why we should do something. And sometimes that's okay to do. But if it's absolutely destroying your soul, if it's taking from who you are as an individual, get it out of your life. You don't have to do that. And I want the youth to know that, and I want other people to know you don't have to sell your soul to get where you need to go. You absolutely don't. And if you feel like you're taking away, because when you take away from yourself, it takes away from everybody else too. When you're not happy, it takes away from everybody else. And honestly, I didn't hang out with my friends. I didn't hang out with my family members. I literally just stayed home and I would drink, because that's all I felt like doing. I didn't even want to live the way that I knew I was capable of living. And when I left, it was like a huge weight was taken off my shoulders. But the truth of the matter is, I put that weight on my shoulders in the first place. So that's when I got into always take responsibility. You always have a choice. You always have an option. There is no one way to do things. And sometimes you do think that way, but it's not the truth. And that's why I want this message to be spread. And I'd love to hear your stories below, because I'm sure other people have horror stories like this too. I'm sure people have done things that they knew it wasn't for them. They knew they didn't feed themselves. It was taking from them instead of giving to them. And there's a difference between something that's difficult. I'm definitely going to say challenge yourself, do difficult things. But if it's legitimately taking from your soul, if it's eating you up inside, that's not worth having in your life. You don't need that. You get the option and you get the choice. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I'd love to hear any of your stories too. And I want you guys to have a great day. Thank you.